In this video, we'll take a closer look at lease use and how both the capture of the data and the way allocations are configured can make a significant difference to the final volumes for associated wells. Lease use gas is natural gas used in well, field, and lease operations, such as gas used for drilling, heaters, dehydrators, and field compressors. Scrutiny on lease use volumes has increased in recent years, as shown in the chart from the EIA. Reported lease use gas is increasing year over year. Why is it important? The way you handle lease use gas impacts gas production and sales calculations, must be reported to state and federal regulatory agencies as volumes distinct from other dispositions, and is subject to audit, which, if done incorrectly, can lead to additional time and money spent on prior period adjustments. In some states, it is taxed depending on whether the gas is used as part of oil and gas operations or to enable the movement of product to market. Calculating incorrectly can lead to legal exposure. Taxes associated with lease use can be included in royalty deductions, as can volumes associated with additional compression and dehydration to make the gas marketable, which can directly impact the dollars paid to owners. All of these potential issues can be avoided if lease use gas is handled correctly the first time, from the field, through allocations and regulatory reporting. Capturing lease use at the equipment level accurately is the first step. The throughput may be metered and measured directly, so the volume can be captured either via a SCADA system or manually read by field operators. If equipment doesn't capture consumption, operators may use the manufacturer's rating to compute a BTU or MCF coefficient and compute based on runtime. Being able to measure and allocate lease use accurately can materially impact the volumes of gas sales allocated to each well in a shared allocation network. Depending on the location of the equipment, these volumes can differ significantly. Let's look at 3 different scenarios for a 2-well pad with the same measurements. Different locations of the equipment in the allocation flow will produce different final allocated results. Here we have the Big Lake Mary and Big Lake Peter wells. In the first scenario, they both send gas through a compressor after wellhead measurement to get to the sales point. In the second scenario, the compressor is only connected to the Peter well, and the measurement point is just prior to the wellhead meter. In the last scenario, the compressor is again dedicated to the Peter well, but is installed further downstream to get the gas to the sales point. So what does this tell us? Comparing scenario 1 to 2, the Mary and Peter wells sold the same amount, but due to the difference in lease use, had different production totals. The Mary well was certainly more profitable in example 2, as none of its production was allocated to lease use. Comparing scenario 1 to 3, the Mary and Peter wells produced the same amount, but the sales allocation outcomes are significantly different because of the location of the compressor. The Peter well's sales volume is reduced due to the lease use gas being allocated. The P2 Merrick solutions are supported by a team who have years of industry experience with over 300 companies. Rather than having to educate your software vendor on best practices in the field, work with the company that helps set the standards. Whether you're a small or large producer, you cannot afford not to get it right the first time.